track. You should get the green right now. Doesn't look like a repeat of last year's start. No, it's a good one. And here they come. Bobby Unser going for the lead. Johnny Rutherford right alongside him. Rutherford down low, but Bobby with a terrible crash on the home stretch. There are several cars involved. We can't see the numbers, but it's been a bad crash on the start. It was in the middle of the field somewhere. Terrible thing. Explosion. This is what everyone is feared. This is why there's been such a terrible atmosphere of fear here all weekend long. It's a shame there's a driver waving. He might be on fire, that man, the way he's waving. You can't see an alcohol fire. Those explosions are not cars. Those are the bombs overhead that are normally set off during the start of the race. There is a report already that there may be spectators hurt, not confirmed. The wire fence right here on the straightaway was ripped apart. It was very fortunate that a car did not come into the crowd, because one of the standards holding up the wire screen has also been broken in half. Right here at the most crowded part of the grandstand, we almost had an automobile go into the crowd. And it appears definitely that there are spectators injured, but here's a replay of what happened here. He was back in the 6th or 7th row, this car. Conjecture that it might have been Salt Walter, but watch. There's a car going, starting to the right. Right there, and look at this. Incredible explosion, fuel spraying out over the spectators in the first few rows. That could mean real trouble. And the explosion, and like a pinwheel or a garden sprinkler, all the fuel is being sprayed out of the car. That could be a good thing for the driver if he has survived this crash. Car upside down, coming to a rest. Another view of this from a head-on camera. And again, you will see how the cables inside this screen are the only thing to stop this car from flying into the crowd. There, watch now. The screen itself is completely destroyed. The cables flinging him back out on the race course upside down, and again that fuel spraying on the crowd. That's a matter of great concern. And here, that pinwheel effect. The alcohol-based fuel spinning out of the car upside down. Another car, Lee Koonsman, I believe, number 16, barely missing the crash. It's Salt Walter, who is under the car. Terrible, terrible accident on the start at Indianapolis.
Here we see a replay of this accident, of what we managed to get here. The car has already collided for the first time with a wall, and that is where I think these spectators have been injured, because look at the pieces. Yeah. Now the car goes in fire. It's a ball of fire. By now it's not only the alcohol that's burning, it's an oil tank that's ruptured, because that's when you can see that flame. Look at these wheels, suspension parts. We were speaking earlier of a deformable structure. I've never seen a race car deform as this one has. It obviously hit the wall at a very acute angle. Can you imagine a race driver is in that car right now? All we can do is hope and pray that he is in good condition. He's certainly in good hands. Let us only hope that the good Lord is looking down upon him with
where he came out. He hasn't been able to pass anybody. Hasn't really been. Oh,
and we have a big-time crash on the backstretch. Looks like that it is Davey Hamilton involved, along with Sarah Fisher.
Yeah, Davey Hamilton, the yellow and red car that appeared to have a lot of damage. Sarah Fisher's down to the inside.
The engine obviously stalled, so I'm going to need somebody to come and get me, but the front of the car just like I get towed in. I had nowhere to go. There was stuff flying everywhere.
Yeah, no, I couldn't pick a good line there. Low is about as best as I could see.
Well, it involves Jared Schrader, Davey Hamilton, and Sarah Fisher. They were all running right together in 16th, 17th, and 18th position when the crash occurred. We see Davey Hamilton moving around in the cockpit. As a matter of fact, he's thrown out the steering wheel, so that is the best thing that we can see. Here is the crash.
Well, they're taking. Oh, contact was made between Schrader and Sarah Fisher back there. She just kind of ran over some stuff, but Schrader and Hamilton, when they got together, let's see what happens as they. Oh,
Schrader blew his engine.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Everybody was a victim of circumstances right there. It wasn't anybody's fault. When that engine let go, Schrader couldn't do anything. Hamilton tried to go to the outside to miss him, but got caught up and into the fence.
Boy, he took a ride, Larry.
Yes, he did. And you can see that oil was just everywhere. Hamilton just barely clipped him, but boy, he backed into the fence very hard. Almost gets upside down. He hit that wall a ton, and Sarah Fisher just got into the debris.
Now, at regular speed, we're on board with Sarah Fisher.
Hey, there's a spin. Slow down. Go low. Go low. Slow right down.
Oh, wow.
You're good. Watch out for the pack behind and all the bits. You're out of sight. I assume you're okay.
Man, oh man, she hit that wheel.
Wow, wow, that's scary. That is scary.
Loose, and he hit the protective barrier at the end of the pit wall.
Now, Bob, I have hit that, and as you can see, it really looks dramatic. But the one good thing, when you see the car impact that, that's a styrofoam barrier. Here we are with the camera right on the edge of that attenuator. Now, that really absorbs a lot of the energy upon impact, but you got to remember, you're still doing over 200 miles an hour. He scrubbed off a lot of speed. You see he's got the brakes locked up right now. He's going in backwards, probably the best thing to do, but look how violent that is. Whips the car around. The driver's being subject to that whipping around inside the cockpit. And then he's inside his cockpit right now.
Whoa! Big crash! Major incident. Kenny Breck getting way high up into the fence. So 2 cars involved.
That's Schechter right there. You can see him moving inside the cockpit. His helmet, his steering wheel comes off. Car heavily damaged, but we have one other car right now that is very heavily damaged.
Now, what will the IRL do? What will the officials decide to do? The debris from Kenny Breck's car, who got way up into the fence. Almost reminds you of an accident Davey Hamilton had here.
And that car is torn apart, Paul. That piece you see right there is part of the under tray of the car. You can see by the skid marks right here where the cars are going across right now. The cars were side by side by the looks of it, and then they just take an immediate right-hand turn, so probably had interlocked wheels.
The yellow flag flies at the start-finish line. The question now is, with just 12 laps to go in competition, whether or not they will put out the red flag and stop the event, only to restart it. Thomas Schechter, and they get him out of the car. We still wait word on Kenny Breck.
As to whether or not this race can be restarted or not. There is the scene around Kenny Breck as the medical personnel from the Indy Racing League work over him and try to stabilize him. Here is the replay of what happened. Breck on the high side of Thomas Schechter down the backstretch. At the end of the backstretch, there's the contact, and Breck's car up into the wall, virtually splitting in half. And here is the shot now from the end of the backstretch. It's a crash very reminiscent of Davey Hamilton's accident here a few years ago, in which he sustained very severe leg damage. The catch fence keeping the car contained inside the racetrack, but still resulting in a lot of damage to the car. Hopefully no, at least life-threatening injuries too.
They come into 3, Scotty.
Actually, you can see on the very underside, what a ride that was. Remember we had last year with Buddy Rice getting airborne coming out of turn 2 when they touched wheels. And here's the situation. Briscoe going underneath. Barron trying to come down on the racetrack. They both are going for the same piece of real estate. And what ends up happening is those rubber tires touch, and then all of a sudden the car starts to go in the air. Remember, we're going 215 miles an hour. Look at all the debris that's going all around the racetrack. This will be a long cleanup time. And there's the engine separated from both the transmission and the monocoque where the driver... Now looking straight ahead, you can see the cars just starting to come together. A little bit of rub, smoke coming off the tires when they touch. And then all of a sudden, as we're riding on board Scott Dixon's car, he sees this. He was actually a spectator in the crash just last year. Now watch those left side wheels. Those are down on the flat underneath the white line. He did a great job keeping that car straight with 2 wheels on the...
This is the kink. Now she's back. She's already around, and she hits the wall with phenomenal force. The car flies up in the air, catches the fence a bit. The motor breaks off as she comes back down, and the tub continues to go. As the gearbox and the rear tires up in the air there, as the tub barrel rolls down the outside of the track there.
Well, if you don't want to see it, look away. But here's what happened yesterday.
This is the first one with Nelson Philippe getting off course, and this is the second one.
Nelson is watching as well. Nelson, you might want to look away for this one. EJ Viso wasn't using all the track, but look at that. Full throttle up over the top of the hill. The yellow lights, the yellow flag was out, but he was already committed. And look at that damage. Will, we're glad. I know
moving inside the car. He's going on the inside of Ryan Hunter-Reay. This reminds me almost of Dan Weldon's crash here in turn 3 and 4 quite a few years ago, and the car is up into the fence, which is almost reminiscent of Kenny Brack's accident at Texas quite a few years ago, guys. Very, very lucky.
You know, he was incredibly lucky that he did not go head into that fence. That is a horrible impact. Wow.
All right, let's go on board from Helio Castroneves' point of view.
You can see Mike was trying for some reason to go on the inside.
Wow, he almost collected Anna Beatrice. Now from Ryan Hunter-Reay's car.
So you can see that he got hit on the inside and up over the top, and you can see Ryan Hunter-Reay moving his hands, and he looks up in front of him and he goes, my gosh, I can't believe that.
Oh, wow. Oh, so close.
Rodney Klossmeyer out of Hempstead, Texas, and he was the fueler. Oh, trouble on the track, guys.
A huge crash on the track here at Indianapolis. Our second caution has come out, and it looks like it is Mike Conway and Will Power involved. So no sooner does Conway get back out on the track than he is involved in a major incident here with Will Power. So Power, who had a 3-race win streak here on the series and hoping to get his first Indianapolis 500 win, is not going to have it happen tonight.
And there's the marbles on the outside there. Sato gets loose.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. That is a horrifying ride for Dario Franchitti.
Oh, man. That is an oval crash we've seen before, and we hate to see that kind of impact.
Sato,
oh boy! Look at the debris go through. Oh boy! And fencing. Yeah, it does look like there might be some debris into the grandstands as well. That is a violent impact.
Fortunately, the fence kept the car in the racetrack.
This is Graham Rahal arriving on the scene.
Full course yellow, full course yellow. Can you get through there?
So Sato gets loose, and Dario's got nowhere to go. That is a thundering blow.
Yeah.
Oh, the pole sitter doesn't get going.
There is not a worse place to stall than at the start of a race. I hope they're okay.
Visor is up, telling everybody that he's okay. Steering wheel is coming off. Talked about the pressure of sitting on the front row here at Indianapolis.
Saavedra is in it. He was hit by Mikhail Aloshin in the 7. That is Aloshin being attended to there. Juan Pablo Montoya crashed further back up the track into the outside wall. His car is sitting there up against the outside wall as well.
Power when I saw that 2 years ago in turn number 2. Ideally, I think you'd like to be low, in particular going into... Oh, we have a huge crash here on the track right now. It looks like Mikhail Aloshin. I'll have to look up who it is. I saw Aloshin earlier was running very close with Charlie Kimball and as well Sebastian Saavedra, but don't want to identify just yet who it is, as we have yet to identify. It looks like Marco Andretti may have been involved just by looking at the colors. Now, a few laps ago, I noticed, and indeed I do see Charlie Kimball in the car. He is moving. That is good news. But I did see, and he gives 2 thumbs up, does Charlie Kimball. Charlie Kimball gave 2 thumbs up in that 83 machine. I saw earlier that we saw Sebastian Saavedra running with those, but this is going to be Mikhail Aloshin, also Charlie Kimball. Jack Hawksworth is involved as well.
Ontario's James Hinchcliffe was taken to hospital and underwent emergency surgery on his upper left thigh following a crash during an Indianapolis 500 practice run today. Hinchcliffe had just posted a lap speed of 221 miles per hour when an apparent failure to his front right suspension sent him slamming into the wall on corner 3. After the crash, the 4-time IndyCar winner was awake when taken by ambulance to local hospital. The accident comes just a day after IndyCar sanctioned reduced speeds and increased downforce after having 3 drivers slip their cars within the last week. IndyCar temporarily shut down the track to conduct an investigation.
Better pay off with us staying out longer than everyone else. They talked about a wing adjustment. They vetoed that wing adjustment and a crash on the track.
Huge crash on the front straightaway. Looks like Connor Daly and I believe Joseph Newgarden. Big hit coming into the tri-ovals.
See Joseph Newgarden moving in the car. That is a big relief.
That was in the kink coming to the start-finish line. Understand that both are talking on the radio, and that is good. There's Connor Daly in his car, massive damage. You see Joseph Newgarden in his, talking to the safety workers when they got there.
We never like to see a car go cockpit first into the wall like that. That is terrible.
And he changes this time. The car has been good. He's out behind. And while he's leaving, we're having to... Oh, there's a big change on the front for Charles Garden. And look out!
Huge crash on pit lane. That's Rossi, Kimball, Castroneves. And one car was in the air, well on top of the other.
Alexander Rossi, the Indianapolis 500 champ, had run up front here, had been leading here. A problem. Castroneves involved, Charlie Kimball involved, and I don't know if Kimball's car is damaged or not. Castroneves out of his number 3.
And Kimball, I can see, desperately waving for his crew to come get him. He probably is stalled, but he thinks his car's all right to get restarted.
And I can tell you, Townsend, it's still running. That's why he wants to get pushed back, because of the 3 cars, Kimball's car is still fired up.
Where do you see the altitude one of these cars got?
Oh, I just saw it in the corner of my eye. There was one literally on top of the other.
Caution is out. Take a look. Top of the screen, you see Rossi coming out of his pit stall. He gets together with Kimball. Oh! What a terrifying moment for Helio Castroneves. The left front wheel, the suspension coming in and over the cockpit.
This is 2 races in a row. We saw this problem with Aloshin and Newgarden at Mid-Ohio. And it's, you know, your race leader, God, I know the feeling. I'm feeling like I'm in Indianapolis again, where you really can't see anything. You rely on your team to give you air traffic control as Kanaan negotiates the carnage. Pit lane's so wide, though, here, Robin. It's not like Indianapolis. There's a lot of room.
Large teams. And that is the fastest first lap, the fastest 2 laps that we have seen by a big distance.
Both in the 231s, the first driver to put any lap in the 231. So forward trouble. Oh, what a crash. What a terrible crash.
Up and over, car flipped. Came back, up and over.
That was a hard hit. He's fine. Oh, wow. That just shows you what happens when these cars come unglued to the track.
to get it going for the last oval of the season, and here we go from Gateway.
Guys right down on the wall. Dixon was trying to slide down the wall. Newgarden goes for the lead. No, Will Power.
Power goes around, one of the championship contenders, and then up on his lid over the top is Ed Carpenter. Takuma Sato has also crashed. A major pile up as we restart in the opening moments at Gateway.
So the surface was slick for Tony Kanaan, and it's slick for the rest of these guys. Will Power with a really massive mistake on the first lap. Don't know if there was contact or if he just lost it.
Into the fourth position and is now looking for third.
Bastien Bourdais also trying to make a move. Right now it's Rossi the leader, then it's Power. Wickens, they're going to make contact. Big contact, car in the air. It's Robert Wickens that spins. Ryan Hunter-Reay was just underneath him. James Hinchcliffe involved. We have a major mess here exiting turn number 2 at the Pocono Raceway.
The car of Robert Wickens made contact with Ryan Hunter-Reay, got airborne, got into the catch fence, and came back to rest on the racetrack, rolled to the inside. A number of cars involved in a spectacular crash here.
Here comes the red machine from Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports, Robert Wickens.
Right with, looking. He's there by 5. Still there. Still there.
Doesn't take much at all. It was a very, very light. Shows his speed right away.
But Alexander Rossi pretty well smoked on the front straightaway. Now Ryan Hunter-Reay is to the inside. Huge crash. Hunter-Reay, Sato. Oh no, and Rossi is in it.
A lot of cars.
Up in the fence is Rosenquist.
This is disastrous for Rossi in the championship. His teammate was involved like he was last year in turn 2. Sato's involved. Car upside down. Sato's car
on fire too.
So Ryan Hunter-Reay for the second year is involved in a really scary crash. Takuma Sato is upside down and that car is on fire. This is Felix Rosenquist. His race is done.
Rosenquist was up on top of the guardrail. All attention right now going to Sato's car. He got tangled with Hunter-Reay.
Hunter-Reay's out. He's okay. He's going to run over and see if he can.